You think you're choosing. You think you're the one deciding to watch this video, to go left or right, to say yes or no, to chase a dream, or to quit one. But what if that choice was already made? What if free will isn't freedom at all? What if it's just a story your brain tells itself after the fact? This isn't a sci-fi theory or just a philosophical game. This is what neuroscience and some of the greatest minds in history have been trying to tell us. You're not in control the way you think you are. And maybe that's the most liberating truth of all. Let's start with a simple question. When do you decide to act? In the 1980s, neuroscientist Benjamin Libet ran an experiment. He asked participants to flick their wrists whenever they felt like it, and to note the moment they consciously decided to do it. He was also measuring brain activity in real time. What he found shattered the illusion of conscious control. The brain started preparing the action before the person was aware of their decision. Your brain had already made the choice, and your conscious mind was just catching up. Other modern experiments with fMRI scans have confirmed the same. They can now predict your choices up to 7 seconds before you're aware you've made them. So the question becomes, if your brain is deciding before you are, who's in control? Philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer said it best. A man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills. Think about that. You can act, but you don't control the desires that drive the action. You don't choose your genetics or your childhood. You don't choose your first thoughts, your instincts, your fears, your talents. You are reacting to a chain of events that began long before you were born. And yet, we punish people for their bad choices, praise others for their good ones, as if we were all dropped into life at the same starting line. But we weren't. Neuroscientist and philosopher Sam Harris has made this argument mainstream. He says, free will is an illusion. Our wills are simply not of our own making. You didn't choose your parents. You didn't choose your brain chemistry. You didn't choose your trauma. So how can you take full credit or full blame for what happens next? The truth is, your sense of "I am choosing this" is often just the narrator kicking in after the decision was made subconsciously. It's a movie, and your consciousness is watching the playback, narrating it, pretending to be the director. But it's not. Even Nietzsche, who celebrated human strength, doubted free will. He believed in the will to power, that what drives us is not reason or morality, but instinctual, unconscious desire for expansion. Freedom, that's a comforting illusion. But behind your choices is will. Raw, unpredictable, unchosen will. And yet that doesn't make you weak. In fact, Nietzsche argued that the strongest people aren't the ones with the most control, but the ones who have the courage to face the chaos within themselves, to live authentically, even without guarantees. Long before neuroscience, the Buddha already saw the illusion of control. He taught the concept of anatta, no permanent self. What you call you is just a bundle of conditions, perceptions, thoughts, memories, habits. None of it fixed, none of it under total control. So the idea that there's a single free-thinking self making pure choices, it was always fiction. But here's the twist. This isn't nihilism. It's not depressing. It's freedom. Because when you realize you're not in full control, you stop trying to control everything. You become more present, more compassionate, more aware. You respond instead of react. Okay, let's pause. Why does this matter? What's the point of destroying the idea of free will? Here's why. Because if you realize you're not fully in control of your mind, then you can stop blaming yourself for everything that goes wrong. And more importantly, you can stop judging everyone else like they were in full control too. You become more curious, more forgiving, more conscious. Instead of punishment, you start to understand causes. Instead of shame, you create space for healing. And maybe, just maybe, that makes you more powerful than free will ever could. You may not have free will in the way you thought, but here's what you do have. You have awareness, and awareness is everything. When you observe your thoughts, you aren't trapped by them. When you notice your patterns, you can disrupt them. You can't change your past, but you can become conscious of how it shaped you. You can't control every thought, but you can choose how to relate to your thoughts. That is the deeper freedom. Not the freedom to choose anything, but the freedom to meet whatever arises with clarity. So, are you actually choosing anything? Maybe not in the way you imagined, but maybe that's okay. Because you don't need the illusion of total control to live a meaningful life. You just need presence. You need awareness. You need honesty. And those things aren't illusions. They're real. And they're yours right now. Let go of control. Step into awareness. And that might be the only real choice you've ever had.